Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The act of traveling by foot. Walking is a healthy form of exercise. Close enough to be walked to. Walking distance. The act of traveling by foot. Walking is a healthy form of exercise. Careers in general. It happens in all walks of life. Take a walk. Go for a walk. Walk for pleasure. The lovers held hands while walking. Manner of walking. He had a funny walk. Baseball. An advance to first base by a batter who receives 4 balls. A path set aside for walking. After the blizzard, he shoveled the front walk. Accompany or escort. I'll walk you to your car. A slow gait of a horse in which 2 feet are always on the ground. Be or act in association with. We must walk with our dispossessed brothers and sisters. Give a base on balls to. Live or behave in a specified manner. Walk in sadness. Make walk. He walks the horse up the mountain. Obtain a base on balls. The act of walking somewhere. He took a walk after lunch. Traverse or cover by walking. Paul walked the streets of Damascus. Use one's feet to advance. Advance by steps. We walked instead of driving. Walk at a pace. The horses walked across the meadow. Close enough to be walked to. The factory with the big parking lot is more convenient than the walk to factory. Cease to operate or cause to cease operating. The owners decided to move and to close the factory. Come to a close. The concert closed with a nocturne by Chopin. Not far distant in time or space or degree or circumstances. She was close to tears. Of textiles. A close weave. Marked by fidelity to an original. A close translation. Fill or stop up. Can you close the cracks with caulking? Inclined to secrecy or reticence about divulging information. Although they knew her whereabouts, her friends kept close about it. Near in time or place or relationship. The bullet didn't come close. Move so that an opening or passage is obstructed. Make shut. In an attentive manner. He remained close on his guard. Lacking fresh air. The dreadfully close atmosphere. The last section of a communication. The temporal end. The concluding time. They were playing better at the close of the season. Come together, as if in an embrace. Her arms closed around her long-lost relative. The concluding part of any performance. Become closed. The windows closed with a loud bang. Crowded. Close quarters. Unite or bring into contact or bring together the edges of. Close the circuit. Giving or spending with reluctance. Very close, or near, with his money. Of a contest or contestants, evenly matched. A close contest. fitting closely but comfortably. A close fit. At or within a short distance in space or time, or having elements near each other. Close to noon. Bar access to. Due to the accident, the road had to be closed for several hours. Be priced or listed when trading stops. The stock market closed high this Friday. Bring together all the elements or parts of. Management closed ranks. Cause a window or an application to disappear on a computer desktop. Change one's body stance so that the forward shoulder and foot are closer to the intended point of impact. Close in relevance or relationship. A close family. Complete a business deal, negotiation, or an agreement. We closed on the house on Friday. Confined to specific persons. A close secret. Draw near. The probe closed with the space station. Engage at close quarters. Close with the enemy. Finish a game in baseball by protecting a lead. The relief pitcher closed with 2 runs in the second inning. Finish or terminate, meetings, speeches, etc. The meeting was closed with a charge by the chairman of the board. Rigorously attentive, strict and thorough. Close supervision. Strictly confined or guarded. Kept under close custody. Used of hair or haircuts. A close military haircut. The power or ability to move. Self-propelled movement. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. We traveled from Rome to Naples by bus. Travel upon or across. Travel the oceans. Undertake a journey or trip. A movement through space that changes the location of something. Self-propelled movement. Make a trip for pleasure. The act of going from one place to another. He enjoyed selling but he hated the travel. Travel from place to place, as for the purpose of finding work, preaching, or acting as a judge. Undergo transportation as in a vehicle. We traveled north on Route 508. The act of marching, walking with regular steps, especially in a procession of some kind. We heard the sound of marching. Walking by a person who is asleep. Walking by a person who is asleep. The act of walking with a slow, heavy gait. I could recognize his plod anywhere. Walk heavily and firmly, as when weary, or through mud. Mules plodded in a circle around a grindstone. Of movement, slow and laborious. Hard, monotonous routine work. The act of walking with a slow, heavy gait. Loiter about, with no apparent aim. Move about in or as if in a predatory manner. The suspicious stranger prowls the streets of the town. The act of prowling, walking about in a stealthy manner. Walking about. The hospital encouraged early ambulation. Walking with a slow dragging motion without lifting your feet. From his shambling I assumed he was very old. Mix so as to make a random order or arrangement. Shuffle the cards. The act of mixing cards haphazardly. Walking with a slow dragging motion without lifting your feet. Walk by dragging one's feet. He shuffled out of the room. Move about, move back and forth. He shuffled his funds among different accounts in various countries so as to avoid the IRS. The act of mixing cards haphazardly. Walking with a slow dragging motion without lifting your feet. Walking by a person who is asleep. Walking by a person who is asleep. Walking by a person who is asleep. Walking with a slow dragging motion without lifting your feet. Walk by dragging one's feet. The rate of moving, especially walking or running. A horse's manner of moving. A person's manner of walking. Lie adjacent to another or share a boundary. England marches with Scotland. The act of marching, walking with regular steps, especially in a procession of some kind. It was a long march. The month following February and preceding April. March in a procession. Walk ostentatiously. A degree granted for the successful completion of advanced study of architecture. District consisting of the area on either side of a border or boundary of a country or an area. The Welsh marches between England and Wales. Genre of music written for marching. Sousa wrote the best marches. March in protest. Take part in a demonstration. A procession of people walking together. The march went up Fifth Avenue. A steady advance. The march of science. Cause to march or go at a marching pace. They marched the mules into the desert. Force to march. The Japanese marched their prisoners through Manchuria. Walk fast, with regular or measured steps. Walk with a stride. He marched into the classroom and announced the exam. Walking with your feet in shallow water. Tread or stomp heavily or roughly. Put down or press the foot. Place the foot. For fools rush in where angels fear to tread. A step in walking or running. Apply, the tread, to a tire. Brace, an archer's bow, by pressing the foot against the center. Crush as if by treading on. Tread grapes to make wine. Mate with. Male birds tread the females. Structural member consisting of the horizontal part of a stair or step. The grooved surface of a pneumatic tire. The part, as of a wheel or shoe, that makes contact with the ground. A unit of length equal to 3 feet, defined as 91.44 centimeters, originally taken to be the average length of a stride. The relative speed of progress or change. He lived at a fast pace. Measure distances by pacing. The rate of moving, especially walking or running. The rate of some repeating event. A step in walking or running. The distance covered by a step. He stepped off 10 paces from the old tree and began to dig. Go at a pace. The horse paced. Regulate or set the pace of. Walk with slow or fast paces. He paced up and down the hall. A step in walking or running. The distance covered by a step. Cover or traverse by taking long steps. Significant progress, especially in the phrase, make strides. They made big strides in productivity. Walk with long steps.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.